Welcome to Do You Know What I Mean podcast. Today we have the undefeated British and IBF European champion, Troy Williamson. All right, Troy?
Yeah, lads.
He's
good, you?
Yeah, good. He's one of my best mates as well, so I just want to put that out there just in case anyone wants to ever try and jump me. He'll knock fuck out you. It's all good, yeah? Been good. Training this morning?
Yeah, been Leeds sparring this morning. Good 8 rounds.
8 rounds, yeah. I've been to the gym this morning. Good 3 mile on the treadmill, walking and running.
I've done a good 8 round sparring this morning. And just run later.
Got a massive fight coming up. Josh Kelly. But we'll go to that later on. We'll talk about Josh Kelly. That's the 1st of December, isn't it?
2nd of December.
2nd of December. Fucking hell, fucked that up, didn't I? 2nd of December, yes. Josh Kelly. How are you feeling?
Oh, I can't wait. It's a fight that I've been wanting for ages. As soon as it got announced to me, I was biting at the bit, phoning everybody to part of the team and try to make it happen. Yeah.
Do you think it's like an itch that you've been wanting to scratch? Is he just someone that you wanting to beat? Is it personal, or do you think it's just...
No, it's not personal. I've labelled it the King of the North because it's for the British title. Yeah. We're both from the North East, and it's in Newcastle, so there's only going to be one king on December 2nd, and that's me. You're looking at him right here.
There you go, the king. We got the... So we'll go back to like years ago. I think I've known you for about 17 years now. Must be about since you were about 15-year-old.
Nah, I started boxing when I was 17. So you knew me since I was 17. So what's that?
Yeah, about
I'm 31.
About 14, 15 years.
15 years,
yeah. Yeah. Because you started boxing late, to be honest, for someone who's done so well. Because I remember you coming through in the amateurs. I remember you used to come down to the gym to spar, and you spar all the lads, and you were always good. You always worked hard. But then, like, suddenly, like, I say this to everyone about you all the time. It's nothing bad. It's just like you were good, and then you just went like amazing. Like, and that's not licking your ass. Don't worry. I'm not licking your ass. I'm not going to fucking bend you over and start. No, honestly, you went like. Because I remember I boxed a lad in the amateurs called Danny Johnson, and he was like tough. And I remember talking to you before you boxed him, and I had like a life and death fight with him. I remember going to everyone, he's tough as.
He was really tough. He just used to walk forward, obviously take a lot of shots, didn't he? But
yeah, and I remember you boxing him, and then he's a nice lad, great lad as well. And then I remember you stopping him. And I remember thinking, fucking hell.
I remember the shot as well. I remember him throwing that jab back. I remember slipping, hitting with a right hand left hook.
It's like, but like, that was the first time I ever, like, when I was watching you, because I've always watched you and thought, oh, he's a great boxer. But when you hit him and stopped him, I thought, oh, you got some power there. Like, and obviously, but your power just seemed to develop. Was that getting older, do you reckon? Or do you reckon that was different training?
I think I was like quite a late developer.
Like a little Corey in that?
Nah, I never had a little Corey, but like, puberty, I started puberty late.
Yeah.
Things like that. I don't think I started puberty until I was like 15, 16. That's late. That's late, really, for a teenager. I think I just not developed. I think I just what was I saying there?
Said you're an alright Corey.
Yeah. I think like just like maturing. I think I matured a little bit later than obviously other guys, and obviously my strength. Like you say, I didn't really get my man strength until I was like in my early 20s.
Yeah. And then it just. Do you think you realised that as well? Do you think you knew when you were fighting, when you were boxing? Yeah,
definitely. I can remember, I was thinking about it the other day. It was weird because I remember I used to do a little bit of pads with my dad when I was like 10, 11, 12-year-old. And he used to always go on about like how hard I was punching. And I didn't obviously, when I was that age, didn't really take note of it. Do you know what I mean? Like I wasn't fighting or anything. But then when I did start amateur boxing, I stopped only like a handful of opponents. I think it's hard, obviously, when you've got head guard, you've got big gloves, and you're only doing 3 2-minute rounds. Like you say, obviously, once I got my man strength in my early 20s, and when I turned professional at 26, obviously my strength shows. And
there was a lot of lads. Obviously, we all boxed down the. I mean, that work group that you were at was really good. I know you got the ABA finals the first year, and you were unlucky in the first time. I think you boxed Fowler the first year round, was it?
Yeah, boxed Fowler in 2014.
And it was a very close fight, I know that. And then you done it again. Was that the same year after? Was it 2015?
The next year, yeah. So boxed Anthony Fowler 2014, boxed 7 times to get to the final.
Yeah.
Boxed once, so he was nice and fresh. So,
Yeah.
I just like to put that in there.
Like a little bit of beef.
Yeah, 2015, I was seed number 1. I was boxing for GB at the time.
Yeah.
And obviously I won him that year. I won the GB Tri-Nations that year as well.
Yeah. Because I remember, obviously, I'd stopped boxing as an amateur then. I think I totally stopped. I was contemplating on still boxing and that at the time. But I remember you winning the ABAs. And obviously, for anyone that doesn't know anything about the ABAs, anyone who like is only following the pro boxing, the ABAs is a massive achievement. I mean, like Joe Calzaghe's won it, Ricky Hatton's won it, Amir Khan's won it. Anyone who's done anything in usually any world champion boxer has won the British ABAs usually. It's a really, like, it's probably the best, apart from the Olympic Games, it's probably, if not one of the best tournaments you can win in amateur boxing, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely, especially in Britain. It's like you said, it's the elite. It's the elite championship, so you're boxing the best of the best.
I mean, you go down that list. I mean, who else? Was it middleweight you won it? Was it?
Yeah, I won at middleweight, so you've got like James DeGale, George Groves,
some Joe Calzaghe.
Yeah, Calzaghe. I think Fock might have been. I think Fock was 75 kilo. Carl Fock.
Do you know the thing that I find fascinating as well about, like, obviously Darlington, because you're from Darlington. Darlington has like especially in pro boxing, it has a lot of, like, it's only a small town, isn't it? But it breeds a lot of good fighters, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It seemed to be like fighters who win good titles, and for such a small town. I mean, obviously, had Stewie Orr won a world title. Had Aggie Ward's, was it Aggie Ward who won a?
Yeah, I think he won a Commonwealth.
Won the Commonwealth title.
Francis Jones, he boxed for British. Just come up short against Scottish Kenny Anderson. Good fight.
Some good fighters from Darlington, and then obviously yourself. I mean, I remember watching you even in the amateurs against that Arlen Lopez from Cuba. I mean, he's turned pro now. We were talking earlier, and you said he's a light heavyweight. He was massive, him though. Yeah,
he was big. Even when I boxed him, he looked twice the size of me.
And that was over 5 rounds, wasn't it?
Yeah, I got flung in the deep end there. I wasn't even meant to be boxing him, but I got told if obviously whoever was meant to be boxing him pulled out, they just said to me, if you box him next week, then there could be a chance that you can go to one of the qualifiers to qualify for Rio Olympics. So yeah. And
was that your? Because I know you turned pro at 26-year-old. So what year was that?
I boxed him in. When the box him, I think it was 2016. 2016. Jen, I wasn't on GB long. It was 2015.
Did you? And do you know, obviously after obviously your success in the amateurs, I mean, even when you started, I mean, let's take you right back to like when you very first started. But why did you start boxing? Did you get told to go boxing, or did you want to go boxing? Because I always think that's a weird one with boxing. Because obviously, I mean, we always laugh about stuff. Because even your coach Craig, he always like takes a piss about the parents, like saying like the parents get involved too much. Was it your dad who got you into the boxing, or did you want to get into boxing? What was the story there?
It's a long time ago. Like you say, I was 10-year-old, so it's 21 years ago. I can't really remember. Maybe a bit of both. Because I remember when I did go, I was too young to compete.
Yeah.
So I was sparring all young travelling kids, fucking there can fight.
Yeah.
To breed some good fighters. Sparring all them lads, and I was having it hard. I was training 5 days a week, and I just wasn't really. I didn't get attached to it. Obviously, didn't enjoy it, to be fair. So walked away from boxing. Started playing football at the age of 11 till signed for 21st All Stars in Darlington. Played football from the age of 11 till 16, and then obviously there was a local boxing gym opened up just around the corner from where I lived, and walked back into the gym on my own accord, off my own back, and like you say, we're here today. Never look back.
Yeah. Did you think when you went back into boxing, did you think I'm gonna? Because obviously, I think with anything like boxing or just even doing comedy or anything, you've got to sort of have got to have goals. You've got to have, like, in your mind. I think that anyway. I mean, now you're British champion, you're European champion. Obviously, your main goal will probably be world champion. Yeah. It's like, when did you start taking yourself serious for that? You know, like, because I say a lot of people just do it when they walk into the gym, but they don't really believe it. So, like, obviously, when you've went into the gym, you think, oh, yeah, I can do something. Did you in your head think, I can do something with this? Was there a point where you thought, oh, I can actually do something with this, I think? Because obviously, for me, even when I boxed myself, I boxed some good lads. I boxed open class and I boxed at a goodish level. But there was always a little bit of doubt in my head, and I thought, maybe it's a bit harder than I think this. And like I maybe took that off too many different people saying stuff and saying, because obviously when you go professional, then it's like it's another level again. Yeah. You're fighting people who are fighting for the families, then they're fighting for. It's not about going into a ring and having a little competition and it's amateur boxing, and you can sort of like not wing it, because obviously at the top level you can't. It's like it's the same as professional athletes, but when you go pro, it's like, well, this is for this next fight. If I lose, that might me be getting a shit payday for the rest. I might not make it. It could mean everything's on each fight. Whereas amateur boxing, you can win some, you can lose some, you can win. It's about learning all the way through, I suppose, till you're at a very good level. Yeah,
it's like the amateurs. It's just like an apprentice, really. You learn as much as you can in the amateurs, try and win as much as you can, and like you say, obviously you turn pro, it's a completely different game. You need to put, like, nobody's really interested in you unless you're putting bums on seats, basically.
Yeah, of course. I mean, look at the prime examples, Jake Paul. Like someone, like you're saying, bums on seats there. I mean, we'll get onto that. Like, what's your thoughts on Jake? Honestly, what's your thoughts on people like Jake Paul?
You know what? Like, I just thought he was just robbing people, saying he was a professional athlete, really. But he's beating guys with names now.
I know.
Obviously, I know, like, they probably are. They're not boxers, but Anderson Silva can fight. Tyron Woodley can fight. You know.
Yeah.
They're not boxers, but the guys that can fight, these are true athletes. So I don't think people will really take him serious unless he fights Tommy Fury, and if he does pull the upset off there, then yeah. There you say.
I mean, from someone who's boxed and watched boxing, I think he's got a little bit of power, mate.
Yeah, it looks like
I think he can punch. Like I genuinely. At first, I thought
he's knocking people out. Look what he done to Woodley. He knocked him out cold. I mean,
I thought it was at first I used to like, the first thing I used to say was, when I used to see him, I used to say like, oh, it's a fucking joke this. Like why would he like be fighting anyone? And then, like, obviously if you've watched him, he's obviously got the best trainers. When I first started watching Jake Paul, I genuinely thought, I say when I first started watching him, I've never ever like watched him all the way through in a fight. I've typed him into YouTube, seen him on the pads, and you get the same people who've never ever boxed in their life. They go, oh, I've seen this video of him on the pads, and you know yourself, pads don't hit back. Anyone can look good on the pads. I mean, when I used to go working away with some of the lads working away, I used to take them on the pads, and sometimes the pad man can make you look better. Yeah. Do you know, like slapping the pads harder, and I used to say, he's shite, he's crap. I'd fight him any day of the week. I wouldn't even train for him. Now I'm looking at him and think, fucking hell, I need an 8-week camp. Yeah. Do you know, like he can actually, like, he can move a bit, can't he?
Yeah, he can put his hands up. Like you say, he can whack. He's taking it serious. Like you say, obviously you see the training he's doing, and he's calling for these big fights. I've seen that he wants Canelo, and who else?
I think Canelo would wipe him out. Like, I
don't think he'll get these sort of fights, but I'd like to see the Tommy Fury fight.
Yeah, I'd love to see that.
Because then you'd really be able to see if he can box, because Tommy Fury's a boxer, isn't he?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, whether people like him or don't like him, he can box. So yeah, I'd like to see that fight.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's calling out fucking Tyson Fury as well, isn't he?
Yeah, it's
and that's a bit stupid, isn't it? That's just obviously all for publicity, I suppose, and people love it, don't they? But back to you, like I was saying, when you decided to turn over pro. You turned over pro, and did you think then, right, I'm turning over? Because a lot of people, I mean, I know a lot of them, I'm not going to name them, but I know a lot of people who've turned over pro and they've just thought, I'm going to make a bit of money out of it. I'm not. And they don't really, you can tell by them talking to you, like, they don't really believe in themselves. When I talk to you, I mean, I'm not just saying it because you're my mate. I know you believe in yourself. Like, did you know that what was the point in your head where you thought, do you know what, I can actually do something here? Because was it the ABAs or was it?
No, it was never during the amateur career, to be fair. It was as soon as I turned professional, I just thought, obviously, I'm taking it 110% serious. I couldn't work. So I was, right from my pro debut, I was like a full-time athlete, even though I was selling tickets. So I couldn't work because I was training twice a day.
Yeah.
I was getting a lot of help from my older brother.
Yeah.
Tremaine. He was helping me out, buying me stuff and sorting me out bits of money even there, because I said, obviously that was the goal, was to become a champion.
Because people don't realise with boxing, it's very, very hard, financially hard, isn't it?
Very hard.
I mean, I was going to have you laugh now, but I was going to, obviously, when I was going to turn pro, I'd stopped working offshore at the time, and I had quite a bit of money in my bank account, and I thought, I've got a load of money, I'm going to go pro. I had this, like, I've trained, I'm going to turn pro, and I went over dial. Obviously, I remember you messaging me saying, you turn pro, who have you signed with and that, and I told you and stuff, and we had a bit of a laugh about it. But when I remember, like, I was meant to get this fight. I mean, when I was turned over, I hadn't even had my brain scan.
Yeah.
And the guy had told me and said, oh, you're going to fight on the Stewie Hall undercard when he won his world title at Leeds Arena. And the first thing they said to me was, how many tickets can you sell? And I was like, oh, I'll sell loads. And he's like, no. He's like, how many tickets do you sell? Bearing in mind, it was the 23rd of December, I think, the fight, or something like that. And he's like, it's right before Christmas. Can you sell £3,000 worth of tickets? It was. And I was like, yeah, I should be able to. So I rang a few lads up there and you said, oh, do you need to get on the minibus? And they say, oh yeah, everyone will say yeah. Everyone will say they'll buy a ticket. But
everyone says yeah until it's time to pull the money out.
And it's true, but it's the same with the comedy and the same with a lot of things. Like, and I suppose, and that's not like having goes at people, but just don't, if you're going to go and watch Troy fight, or you're going to say, just fucking buy a ticket and actually say to him, just actually say yeah. If you can't go, just be like me, be tight. Say, I can't go, Troy. I've been to one of his early fights, so I'm a proper fan. But I'd go to your fights all the time. I would support you if I wasn't working on the weekends. That's true. I would. I know how hard boxing is. I know how hard it is to, like, do what you're doing. And it is about ticket selling, isn't it? It's a business, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. You see so many great talents and so many kids that can really fight don't fulfill the potential because they don't get the opportunities. That's because they can't sell tickets.
And that's why a lot of people end up becoming journeymen as well, isn't it? Because people don't know that there's a lot of good fighters who are journeymen in boxing who think, all right, then I won't be a ticket seller, but I'll get a couple of grand a week, like fighting someone and going the distance with someone. And there's a lot of bullshit behind boxing, and obviously this is where, I mean, I don't follow much on the UFC. I watch the bigger fights. I wouldn't say I know loads about it, but one thing that I do see what the UFC are doing, and the boxing doesn't seem to do it. They do it now and again. Is the best seem to fight the best all the time at the top level. And it's just so many contracts in boxing, so many sanctions. And what's your thoughts on it? Because obviously I know you find it hard to get fights. I mean, Josh Kelly's fighting you on the 2nd of December. And that's, for me, that's like two good lads fighting each other. Still quite early on. Like I'm not saying early on. James DeGale and George Groves done it early where they fought each other and they put it on the line against each other, which is great. And they both went on to great things. But you and Josh are like you're at a really good level in your boxing career, and you don't really have to take that fight. It's like a risk for both of you in that way. Like, you don't have to take that fight, but you are. And do you know, hats off to you both on that. But what's your thoughts on it?
I think, yeah, you are completely right. In the UFC, the fight the best. Like, it should happen in boxing. For whatever reason it doesn't. I can't speak on it. We've been offered massive fights, me and my coach, and we've accepted them all. We've been offered fights to go abroad, accepted them. Obviously, it's just it's a shame because in boxing, like you said, it's hard to get a good 50-50 fight. People want either too much money, or people want to walk to the ring first. Or I heard, like, with the Eubank Ben, the fight wouldn't have happened if Ben was going to walk to the ring first and Eubank second. Daft little things like that. I think it's ridiculous. He said it shows like who the real fight is. But like you said, it's a business at the end of the day. If they're saying, I want to walk to the ring first, well, obviously pay me so much money or whatever, but I don't know, it's a weird one. Like, I just like fighting, so
yeah,
doesn't bother me if I walk to the ring first, second.
Yep. If you walk third, a bit weird, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Fucking walking in third. I was going to say, so obviously you turn pro. I mean, also, like, you can punch. That's one thing. Like, you brought that from the amateurs. Towards the end of your amateur career, I remember you were stopping a lot of people. Do you reckon that was to do with the head guards coming out as well? Or do you reckon it's just you'd found your power?
Both. Yeah, a bit of both. Because you feel a bit padded with that head guard and then bigger gloves. as soon as the med guards come off,
Them little gloves.
yeah, and them little gloves, it separates the men from the boys.
Yeah, I mean, you were going through your. What would you say? What would you say your highlight in the pro? Your first big win. Who would you say it was?
First big win.
That was really like in your head that you really thought I feel good. Like I know you're happy after every fight, but what was one that was there any fighter that I don't want to give anything away, but was there any fighter that because I watched the Mike Tyson documentary before, and obviously every fight he said he gets nervous every single fight, and it's hard to believe looking at Mike Tyson because he was an absolute machine. He was when he's walking in the ring, he said he was absolutely petrified going into the ring, and I also think that relates with comedy because one of the best comedians ever, Eddie Murphy. He said every gig that he done, that he was nervous. He'd be really good.
He's the best, Eddie Murphy.
One of the best ever, yeah. Eddie Murphy's definitely one of the best ever comedians.
Who's the best?
Me. I will be. I'll be the best ever.
I like Dave Chappelle, mate.
Dave Chappelle's brilliant. I love Dave Chappelle. I go on about comedy. I know I don't want to go on about too much about comedy because I'll end up talking full comedy about it. Richard Pryor, one of the best ever. Tom Segura, Bill Burr, loads. Kevin Bridges in England, well Scotland, loads. Peter Kay. But when Eddie Murphy was talking on a documentary before, and he said that the gigs that he was always like, oh, I'm going to smash this. He said he'd die in his ass. Like he said he'd have a really bad gig. I think that's very similar in boxing. I think sometimes you can go into a sparring session, for example, and you can spar someone who's not had many fights at all. And in your head, you're laxative. You go in the ring and you think, I'm moving about with some kid here who's had 20 fights, he's won 10, or so he's half record. And then you go in there and you spar. Because it must have happened to you a few times. You thought, fucking hell, what's going on there? I'm British and European champion. I've just had my head boxed off by you.
Yeah, I think you got to stay switched on because it's easy to bring yourself down to that level, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, of course. That's what I'm saying.
Like if they're not... If they're phone late, you don't really want. Obviously, I'm not one for taking advantage. So if I'm sparring with someone who's had 20 fights, won one, for instance, and like they're complete useless, then I'm not wanting to let my hands go and just beat somebody up. So you start doing things at their sort of level, and then you're getting caught with daft shots. If you know what I mean.
So was it? What I'm saying was, when you were boxing, was there anyone in your like when you were coming through the pros? I know every fight's technically when you're winning, every fight's getting harder. Every single fight should be getting harder. Like it's gradually getting harder and harder. But was there any ever fight where you thought in your head, this is going to be really... I know you think every fight's going to be hard, but was there any fight where you thought this is going to be a really hard fight, this?
Yeah, more at the start of my career when I'm fighting these journeymen and you're hitting them and they're not going nowhere or they're smiling at you.
Yeah.
Like you're hitting them with serious shots and they're just looking at you.
This is what I was saying earlier. People don't respect the journeyman because, I mean, there's some lads...
Oh, they're tough as fuck, some of them.
250 fights and they've been knocked out like 3 times, and people are like, yeah, they've lost like 211 fights, and you're like,
people don't understand.
They don't understand that they're there to sort of bring boxers on and just they're fighting every week.
Without journeyman, boxing wouldn't be alive.
No, definitely not.
In my opinion,
it'd be just like I say. It's there's some of the I know a few journeymen who boxed myself, and the tough lads. And
you was going to be a journeyman, weren't you?
I was going to be a I don't know what the fuck I was going to be when I was turning pro. I think I didn't even know if it was boxing I was doing. Do you know what I mean? But if I'd have been, I wouldn't have allowed myself to be a journeyman. I've got too much of an ego.
If you had a ring walk, what would it be?
Well, a ring walk?
Yeah,
I'd be like Apollo Creed.
No, like ring walk music. What would you have?
Like Apollo Creed, living in America. Even though it would be in England, I'd come out of that.
Yeah.
I'd just come out with American shorts on as well. Do you know what I mean? No, if I had a ring walk, do you know what it'd be? It'd be Phil Collins, this song.
Which one?
Right there. I always used to think about this when I was wanking. This song, it would be Another Day in Paradise. So it'd start off like this. Might hear it on the podcast, will you? Yeah. So do this, you like this, you might steal it off me. Just be nice and calm.
Takes too long, kick
right there. No, it doesn't, listen. Because I'm talking about when I'd be at the top level. They'd be like, ladies and gentlemen, he's 19 and old. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd be doing that. They'd be showing you all my knockouts there. Like that. 3. Like that. People would be going down. They'd have to do it on repeat because it'd be the same one, And then I'd just come out like that and they'd go. That's alright. I'd just be like chilled. It's called Another Day in Paradise. So you're going into the ring, it's paradise. Yeah, you know that song, don't you?
Yeah, I'm not a bad little thing. What
And then it goes. Nothing. I think you should come out with it. Have you already got your ring walk sorted?
I use the same tune all the time.
What cheers for the fans
Ready or
listening?
not, here I come. You can't hide. I'm gonna find.
Did you picture that when you were younger though? That song? Did you always think I'm going to listen to that one? What made you pick Ready or Not? Here I Come? Just the lyrics and that.
Yeah, just the lyrics, really. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, great tune. Love the tune.
Did you ever talk to yourself in the mirror and pretend you're doing interviews? Did you ever used to do that?
No.
You know what I mean?
Never. It's not like.
never sat there in the mirror interview and just like ask. Do you not preach? So because obviously you're going to see for me, right? I'm like this though. My head's like this. If I'm going to like a show or something and I know something like this is going to happen, in my head I'm constantly going, maybe it's just I'm anxious, I don't know, but I'm constantly going through stuff. So you get interviewed by like Cook and Cassius and all that, like you get interviewed by big people on telly and stuff all the time. Do you not ever picture what you're going to say before you go, or do you just let it just come out?
Just let it come out. Sometimes you just, like you say a load of shite or say things wrong, but I've had a bit of stick off. I've seen like on YouTube where I've done interviews and I've seen the comments and that.
You can't read the comments though. You can't. There's no point reading the comments.
Nah, but that's no like. I've had like people like send me them where it just says like stuff like, "This guy sounds thick as fuck." Do you know, stuff like. Yeah. He said it's just fucking the way I am, but I would never change. Like I would never change.
It means nothing to do with though. It means nothing to do with fighting though, does it?
Yeah, nah. I think it's just like the Dallo slang, isn't it? I'd come out with stuff like in interviews, not think of what I'm saying. Do you know what I mean? I don't think before I just speak. I wouldn't think of what I'm saying before I do. I say it, but I should do.
No. I think you're right because I'm saying that to you. When I go on stage, I have a in my head I have like a span what I might do, and then as soon as I come out, someone will shout, "You fat cunt!" You know, as soon as I come on, and I'll just think that's gone out the window, and I'll say, "Who said that there?" And I have to go with what's there because obviously if I had like a load of like heckle put downs at someone, and it'd be the same as going up against, I suppose, let's use Josh Kelly for example. If you thought, right, he's a good looking lad and all this, I'm going to say this and that to him, and then he might just say something that will throw a total curveball at you, and you can't say what you've thought in your head that you're going to say back to him. You have to sort of just go with what's there and then. I mean, I watched the little get together that you had when he went like that to you. Yeah,
it was even to this that was what, a week ago, 10 days ago. Even to this day, and now I'm still thinking like, what did he do? I don't know what he done. Like, why did he do it? Don't know why.
He might comment on this.
Genuinely, I don't know why he did it. Like, do you know why he did it?
I think he was trying to scare you.
Must be fucking.
I think he was trying to scare you. I'm surprised no one's made it into like a remix yet.
Oh yeah.
You know when they do that and then it shows you like someone.
But I was even saying to me mate, though, I'm like, imagine if I went, or if I like jumped or like the amount of shares that it's been everywhere. Imagine if I did that, I'd look like a pure fool. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What you mean if you jumped?
If I jumped or if I made a noise or anything, I'd have fucking hell.
You did, didn't you? Went like that?
Nah, I didn't do fuck all. Like even him doing that there didn't move, like didn't blow no wind on my t-shirt or anything. Just I don't know why he done it.
Can we put that video up, Liam?
I don't know why he done it.
I want to watch the video. I want to watch the video just of Josh Kelly.
Yeah.
Doing. What was going through your mind when he done that to you?
Nothing. I just didn't bat an eyelid. When he done it, I just thought.
Did you just think why has he done that?
I just thought like, what just happened there? You know what I mean? Genuinely, I was thinking like, what the hell?
Well, after Josh, if you're watching this, please leave a comment and just say what were you doing on that sit. And it's not a dig at you, Josh. Listen, I take my hat off to you, mate. You've done far more than a lot of people who've tried to box. But we're all confused. What were you doing?
Very, very, very confused.
Were you trying to scare Troy? Were you having a bit of, I don't know. Was he checking your waist size? I don't know what he was. I wonder if did he touch you? Like, did he like touch you? Was he checking if you were strong? Do you reckon?
You know.
Was he like checking? Oh, I wonder if he's firm to the body. Because you might be thinking, oh, he might look firm, but he's He's a little bit podgy on the body. You know, I might be able to lay some left hooks into his body or something. If we got it up there, what we putting? What's that one at the top there? Troy Williamson. He's dropped his ass. Troy Williamson reacts. Is that when you're saying Josh Kelly's dropped his ass?
Yeah, for not. I think it was for not turning up to.
Oh, I didn't
when I
turn.
boxed.
Yeah. Are these some of the interviews? Go on. If you type in at the top there, if you type in,
Don't think it'll be on there, you know.
is it not on there yet?
It's on Instagram. I don't know if you can get that.
Oh, nah, we'll just leave it then for now. But so when you're coming through, I mean, before we get to Josh Kelly anyway, obviously you beat, I mean, your first big scalp that you won as a pro, who would you say?
Obviously I drew with Jack Flatley. That was should have been like the breakthrough fight I'd have said. Give it a draw over 8 rounds. I put him down twice in round
I know,
one.
I seen. I thought you got that.
Bit of
Like,
a fast, but it is what it is. Like that's obviously made me what I am today.
definitely.
My first breakthrough fight really would have been Javi Scarf. I think that was the first fight that I had live on TV. Won that unanimous. Went on to fight Kieran Smith then in a final eliminator for the British title.
And then you fought
Knocked
Cheeseman.
him out in the 6th.
I mean, that Cheeseman when you fought him, what a knockout. I mean, if you put that on Troy Williamson, Cheeseman knockout. Oh, there it is. You've got it. Where there?
The still, yeah.
Oh, the still. That's just the still. There's Josh
that,
Kelly.
man.
So we'll edit this bit in. Like, Josh Kelly, what were you doing there?
I don't know what he's doing, you know.
You can see in your face you're actually wondering what you're doing. Do you think he was trying to lift you up? What was he? Because he's laughing, like, but like, do you think in his head he's?
It looks like he wants to try and kiss us or something. I don't know.
I know. Do you think he wanted to kiss you?
Look at that.
He's looking at you as in to say. Do you think he knows what he's doing on it?
I think it was at that moment there he thought, shit, what have I done? You know what I mean?
Josh, comment on this, mate. Come on. I need you to comment on this. It's like I say, it's no hard feelings, mate. Take my hat off to you, I've told you. But I'm confused when it comes to this. I'll be honest. Even if you want to come tell me to my face, like, we'll have a little talk in private, just friends, and just we'll become friends and talk about it. We'll even slag Troy off. But I want to know what you were doing here. You know what I mean? You've got a ring on the fingers there, Troy. Have you got them on now?
I mean, no, I don't. In my car.
Yeah. They're like old school, them rings, aren't they?
Nah, it's just my initials and the boxing ring.
Would you like to leave them on? And then you leave your initials on your opponent's face, couldn't you?
Just leave a TW in someone's head.
That'd be good, wouldn't it? There's still loads of journeymen walking about with TW in their head. We've got to his fight against Cheeseman, Ted Cheeseman. I mean, one of my favourite fights of yours, and obviously probably a lot of other people's favourite fight. It was probably one of the best fights you could see in a British boxing ring. I mean, if you put the knockout or the highlights, whatever, to the end, I mean, take me through this fight. I mean, I watched the build up to this as well, and Ted obviously a tough fighter. Him like really, really tough fighter. Towards the end, yeah, the audio's always good. But when he was, I mean, first round here, like, what were you just sussing him out? Or did you already?
Yeah, do you know what? Going in that fight, there was I just felt I felt bang on. A lot of people had you wrote off, didn't they? People didn't believe in me. A lot of people thought I was going to cut, but that's because nobody seen me box. I didn't have no airtime off me previous promoters. A lot of people thought Ted Cheeseman was just going to walk through me, but I knew exactly what was going to happen in that fight. I visualised that fight. I knew from round one how it would go.
Did you know you'd knock him out?
Yeah, like I've said, obviously it's going to be a 50-50 fight throughout the full fight. But as the fight gets on, and obviously I'll get stronger, he'll revert back to old tactics. He'll revert back to old tactics. He's going to stand his ground, try and fight, and he's going to get knocked out. I said that throughout the full build-up.
The thing I did like, which is just you down to a T. Like I say, I've known you for years. Is the two interviews before it. I mean, me and my missus were actually watching the interviews before, and I remember her even saying, "I hope Troy knocks him out," because sorry, Ted, but she did. because you said something like, "Oh, we're friends" or something, and you said something like that, and then he got interviewed and he said something like,
Nah, well, I just said like, I just respected. I just said I was
You respect
him
him?
as a fighter, and he come out and said something like, he keeps talking about respect or this. Do you know what I mean?
and then
Respect all fighters. Like,
have you spoke to him since the fight?
no, don't think I have.
Yeah. Don't send each other like birthday cards out. No. Yeah. Can you fast forward it to the knockout? Have you seen the knockout, Liam? No. Oh mate, you're gonna because it's class when you see it for the first time. But I don't want you to spoil it by going all the way.
Early on, I was like,
If you go,
the bit where I haven't watched this bit.
right, yep, go back.
Most of you bit that.
It's just coming up now, Troy. Here we
Yeah,
go,
the
round
sound,
10.
yeah.
Watch this. Liam's live reaction. Liam's never seen it before. Put the sound up, Liam. This is our cameraman, student. Hey, you guys. Hey, you guys. Hey, obviously, when you watch that again there, I mean, were you thinking about his shots coming back there, or did you know? Did you know? Do you think this is the round?
I felt like going around 10, like I could feel his energy drain, and I knew that I was only getting stronger. And so I got my second wind, so I knew that. Craig was saying, just go out and box. So go out, you got 3 rounds, go out and box. Keep the centre of the ring. When I went out there, I just felt like it was starting to fight again. I felt like I could have done another 10 rounds.
Yeah.
So I knew, like, and I feel his energy drain. I was only getting stronger. I knew it was.
I mean, that knockout there, it's class.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what not even a world title, that's what every boxer dreams of, just to be on the telly like that and to knock someone out like that is like, it's every man's sort of dream, isn't it? Like, any real man's dreams to say, I'm going to knock someone clean out. Like, but like,
I couldn't find myself out of pet bag and I had that daydream.
I mean, but to do like, I was going to say something, it took something off my head. Something went out of my head there when I was going to say something about the fight, but we'll obviously edit this bit. I always say that, don't I? I don't need to say that, do I? I need to just keep going. So, you hit him with that shot there, you knew he wasn't getting up. Because he looked like, you know when Carl Frock knocked George Groves out? That's how his legs were.
Yeah, similar.
And did you know, as soon as you dropped him there, did you think he's sleeping there?
Yeah, I knew he was
Did you just think as soon as was it that shot there? They uppercut because it's the bang, that uppercut there.
That's not one. This one.
Boom, that one, yeah. Did you think that? Did his eyes go a little bit with that?
Yeah, I knew when I hit him with that uppercut. I knew that was it.
Yeah. Well, that his head nearly came off. You know what I mean? Sorry, Ted. Have a bit of that, son. Do you know what? I was coming home from a New Year's Eve party years ago. Just I'm saying that when I have a bit of that, son. And there was a taxi driver in the car. How funny are taxi drivers? They're all. I was coming home. It was when I used to box, and he goes to us. This isn't even a joke. He goes, "Oh, you do a bit of boxing, mate?" I was like, "Yeah, I do a bit of boxing." He was like, "Do you know what's really good for you?" And I was like, "What?" And he was like, "Running up and down the stairs in your house. Just do that like 200 times a day." And I'm a nice person, so I'm just talking back to him. Yeah. I say I'm a nice person. I was going, "Oh yeah, sounds good, mate." You know, I'm on my own with him in the car.
I definitely wouldn't have said that, like.
No, I know you wouldn't. That's just me. And then I'm laughing. Yeah, but you know what I'm like as well. I like to bring people out of a conversation. And then he starts talking to me. He goes, "Do you know him, Muhammad Ali?" And I was like, yeah. I was like, yeah, of course I do. I don't know him personally, but he was alive then, Ali, as well. So I was like, of course I do, but I know who he is. He's like, yeah. I said, Cassius Marcellus Clay. And then he changed his name, Muhammad Ali. And he was like, yeah, that's the one, bro. And all that. And I was like, yeah. He's like, he fought a scaffolder, you know. I said, I think I know who you're on about. He's like, from Scarborough. I said, Richard Dunn. He's like, yeah, Richard Dunn. Do you know he fought Richard Dunn? So he fought a scaffolder he was actually worked offshore, this scaffolder, in the pros. And Richard Dunn was like, big heavyweight, like he boxed like Joe Bugner and all them, you know, years ago. And Ali, when he was on the scales with him, he held his belly, like he a picture of him holding his belly. And Richard Dunn used to go around like doing talks about fighting Ali. I think he didn't. I don't know what round did Ali beat Richard Dunn in? If you put that in Google, I think he knocked him out in round 5. I think it was round 5. I might be wrong. It might have been earlier or it might have been a little bit later. What round did Ali knock out Richard Dunn? Richard Dunn. DUNN. 5th round. So Ali knocked him out in the 5th round. So apparently my dad worked with Richard Dunn. He worked away with him, and he said, obviously everyone asks him that question, what was it like fighting Muhammad Ali? Because he was in his prime as well. And he said, I couldn't get anywhere near him. He said, even if I had a scaffolding pole, he was like, he was joking. But he said all the way through, he said he was talking to me. He said, and he was just like, and then he said the conversation he actually said to him before he knocked him out, he said to him, right, Richard, you've had your fun, say good night. He said, and like, he said something like that to him, and he said, and he just woke up. He said, like, right, he said, he was like, he said, you've had your fun, say good night. He said, he muttered that in his ear and knocked him out. And Dunn's, I've had loads of people who worked offshore say, have you ever heard Richard Dunn tell this story about Ali saying that to him? And anyway, this taxi driver was telling me about it, and he like done the Borough version, and I was laughing, mate. He went, do you know what they said, bro? When he fought him, and I was like, oh, go on then. He said, well, he was fighting him, and Ali said, oh, you've had your fun, mate. He said, and then I was like, oh yeah, I know. And then he went, now have a bit of that now, get up you cunt. And I thought Ali never said in his life, get up you cunt. Imagine Muhammad Ali hitting someone and then going, get up you cunt. But there was a fight when Ali fought, you're a massive, because obviously I've never asked you this as a mate, because we don't talk about boxing, because obviously we've just been mates for years, but are you a boxing fan? Do you watch a lot of boxing or?
Yeah, I do. I watch obviously a lot of like fighters who I like.
Yeah, do you watch any old boxing? Like, who's your favourite fighter ever?
Mike Tyson.
Tyson. So you like a lot of obviously Mike Tyson. What makes you like? Because your style, obviously, you do punch. You can punch and you knock out like Tyson. But like, are you your own style, your own Troy Williamson? Do you think, or do you?
Yeah, I don't base my stuff. I've said this loads of times. A lot of people do ask me that question. I don't base my style on any particular fighter. I like watching obviously Mike Tyson, Miguel Cotto, Shane Mosley, Roy Jones. Them me.
Because I remember Johnny Tapia getting asked that question. Johnny Tapia, when he was coming through years ago, great fighter, and then someone said to him, "Oh, who's your style?" I can't remember who it was about at the time. I don't know if it was Barrera and all them who were about. I know he fought Barrera in the end, and then Johnny Tapia said, "I'm Johnny Tapia style." You know, like, and this was before he like obviously was unbelievable. He had like a horrific life, him, didn't he? Like that Tapia. Have you seen him? He had like his mum getting murdered and everything, and like it was. But like I say, and I believe that. I think when you go and I'm relating back to the comedy because it's what I can use now. If someone said to me, "Oh, who's your favourite comedian? Like, whose style do you have?" I think, no, I don't have a style because I don't want to copy anyone. I want to be me.
James Kilvin style.
I'm me on stage, and if it's working, and if it gets bigger and bigger, and that's eventually that'll be like obviously at a world title level with yourself. When you're world champion and someone's like, some kids watching you saying, I want to box like Troy Williamson. Do you know what I mean? I want to run like Usain Bolt. It's like anyone who's doing well, people are going to try and
run like Usain, but I think that's just the Jamaican.
You're a good runner. I think I was a better runner than you when I was younger. Now, fucking hell. I went on the treadmill this morning, right? And I watched a little interview with Tyson Fury not long ago. And he said, like, when he first came back to fight Deontay Wilder, and that's what's motivating me at the moment. Just like Tyson, like if someone had came up to me years ago when I was boxing and said, "Oh, like I can't be arsed running 3 mile," I'd have been like, "You lazy bastard."
How long does it take you to do 3 miles?
Oh mate, I don't even time it no more. That's how slow I've got now.
You should be doing it under 22.
Oh, I know, but I'm not, mate. Have you seen the size of me? I'm
don't do it under
about 107 kilo. I'm a big heavyweight with a.
What's that in stone?
100. I am my weight at
17
the moment.
stone.
At the moment, I can move for 30 seconds.
I can bleep this out, if you don't want to know.
I don't give a fuck about it. I'm about 16 stone 8.
Well, Craig is heavier than you, and he can do 3 miles 19 minutes. 19 something.
Is he?
And
I'm going to go running with Craig.
He's 47.
I'm going to go, yeah, I can get running again. I can run fast. Do you know what? I can run fast if I'm with someone. If I'm on my own.
If you're getting chased.
Yeah, if I'm getting chased by the police. If I'm on my own. And I'm just like...
I went for them before. Fucking, probably a PB. That fucking... Little terrier. I don't know what sort of terrier it was. It's quite late as well. It's about 10 o'clock. I was with my brothers. Little terrier coming out of nowhere. Started chasing us up the street. Fuck. I was on a car. Like, I couldn't run no further. I had to jump on top of a car.
What, because of chasing you?
Dogs chasing us.
Yeah, because you're... Well, people don't know you're a massive dog lover, aren't you? You
yeah,
are
I like dogs, yeah.
no, you are a proper dog lover, aren't you? How many dogs have you got?
Apart from that dog.
Yeah. How many dogs have you got?
I've only got 3 dogs now.
Have you? But you did have at one point. What's the most dogs you've ever had?
I think I had about 11 dogs in my backyard.
11 dogs.
Dogs.
Do you just like them because they're just a human, like a best friend?
Yeah, but I went through a stage. I was breeding dogs. But I was doing it properly. I wasn't just like breeding mongrels. I was breeding dogs, but then it's like a full-time job, man. So I've just cut down now. Got a little Jack Russell in the house, and I've got 2 dogs out there in my backyard. That obviously do like that.
Working dogs.
Working dogs. Yeah.
What are they like lurchers?
I've got one Slooty Ground, like a lurcher, and I've got a Airedale Terrier.
Yeah. It's I mean that's where do you think you're going to the dogs with like a lot of people in Darlington have dogs, don't they? They love it, don't they? I always find I do.
A lot of people who breed dogs.
Yeah. I mean, do you think you were just brought up? What made you like dogs so much?
Watching Dr. Dolittle.
Dr. Dolittle?
Obviously watching him with all the pets and that.
Do you think you talk to them?
Nah, I don't talk to them, nah.
No, man. That's when you are going a bit like... that's when your career's fucked then, innit? When you start talking to dogs.
If the little Jack Russell I have in the house could talk to me, fuck me. I'd slap her all over the place. She'd be the most annoying person in the world.
Yeah, just like... What do you mean? Because it'd just say all your secrets about like what you're doing and that.
She doesn't see me doing anything on the couch.
What was I going to say? My mate, speaking of Jack Russells, my mate, you can bleep his name out if you want, but Tommy Bustard. Do you know Tom Bustard?
No.
He's done really well. He's got his own podcast, actually. He does well with it, actually, for promoting mental health and that. He was a great lad, funny. He was like... So he was like fat at school, and that's just me telling the truth. He was fat, and then he just got into cycling, and then he was like cycling with like the Brownlee brothers and all that, and like he ended up in like a proper team, and then he ended up. So he was a pacemaker in cycling. That's what he started. So he used to just belt it at the start, but then like he suddenly started getting sponsors because every now and again he'd win. Do you know, like you just keep going, you know, like Forrest Gump on for cycling. But I grew up with him. He's a great lad, and he always told us a story about when he was. He said when he was in school, about 15, no, he'd have been about 16, he might be in college. He said he used to live in a bungalow with his dad. And it's like, well, no, it wasn't a bungalow because I had a little upstairs, so it's not a bungalow, but it was like a little cottage house.
Yeah.
So as you walk to the front door, you could see through the front room window. And he said he was having a wank, right? And he said halfway through his wank, he said like he looked up at the window and there was an old lady looking through the window at him, right? And so he said it was his next door neighbour. So he said his bottle went. He said so he just pretended to start being sick on the floor, like naked. And I was like, why'd you do that? He said, because I didn't know what to do. He said then she was like knocking at the window. He said so like he was on his knees naked. He said so he got up, put a towel around and went to the door, and it was because his little Jack Russell had escaped. And that was the story of the Jack Russell, you know what I mean? So dogs can get you in trouble, can't they? Do you know what I mean? They can kind of like, you know, if you're having a wank or something, and your dog's ran out. I mean, speaking of wanking or shotting your beans, do you have to stop before a fight? That's a question, because I always wondered that. I used to, so many boxers talk about it, say, oh, I'm gonna give myself, David A was one of them, he said he used to give himself like a sex ban. Someone said Nigel Benn used to say that apparently like he'd have sex on the day of the fight, but he'd make the woman do all the work because like his wife or something. This is what a boxing coach told me before. I don't even know if that's even true. If you Google
I think it's all a myth, I think.
Nigel Benn, probably some fucking porno will come up with a guy dressed up as Nigel Benn, but Nigel Benn, sex before fight. I think Nigel Benn used to say that sex addiction, oh no, he's talking about sex, he must have had like a sex addiction, I didn't know that. No, it's just Eubank. I mean, there's a lot of put boxers, sex before fight.
I think it's all a myth.
Well, that boxers have sex before fight?
Yeah,
because they don't fancy each other.
Nah, like obviously.
Went over your head, that didn't it?
Nah.
Boxers having sex before fight because they don't fight each other. I have sex with Josh Kelly, are you? Boxers, right? Another popular myth is that having sex in the days leading up to a sporting event. Do you think it is? Yeah, because
like for me, at the end of the day, you're having a fight. Do you know what I mean? If I fucking
course, this is. Do you know what? You saying that there? I used to say, is this what you? I think I can take out your mouth what you're going to say. Yeah, you're going to say if someone offered you a fight in the street, you can't say I lost that fight because I've just shot me beans.
Definitely not.
Do you get what I mean? Like if someone came up with you and said,
that's not. There's no excuse, that is it?
No. I wonder if it's just like. I wonder if the myth's like if you're having like a sex, like you're going full for it. You know what I mean? Like you're giving them it, you know, and you're sweating and like sexing. Like I wouldn't advise like having sex in a sauna before.
How long do you shag for? Like
depends what mood I'm in.
Sweating.
Depends where it is and how hot the temperature is and that, doesn't it? You know what I mean? Where you're at, you know what I mean? If you
no physical advantage, but I don't know if you were like chomping a bit because you hadn't got your underwear. Maybe mentally you might be different. I don't know.
Yeah, I think you'd be more angry if you hadn't shot your cocoa. I think you'd be more angry. There was a rumor about like that, like it makes you weaker, and I think that's just.
Yeah, I think that's just a big myth. I think
because they've done tests on a boxer years ago as well, apparently, and then like and they've done like deadlifting with him after and all that, or some weight training. And he was actually
wank him off and then send him to do a deadlift.
Sucked him off and then said do a power lift. Sucked him off while he was bench pressing. He's getting a gobble. It's not halfway through. Like I say, that'd be good, wouldn't it? Imagine that naked boxing, you know, halfway through the round, you're you'd lose, or wouldn't you? Shot your cocoa straight away. Like between each round, you're like your bed's in the corner instead, like, and she's piping you off, and whoever shots the cocoa first loses. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? They're allowed to pick.
Float your ball. I don't think I'd like that. Like, no.
But coming up with Josh Kelly, obviously, like. Fucking just going from like total Liam's just thinking how much fucking editing do I have to do here with this video. Josh Kelly, you've got a big fight with Josh Kelly coming up. I mean, how long's that been in the pipeline? I mean, everyone's been talking about you and him for a long time now, like yeah, on the boxing world.
About 12 weeks.
And then
obviously he was mandated for my title, and he's took the fight, so we're here and we've got a date.
What's your relationship with friendship wise with Josh? Because Josh was in GB, wasn't he? I mean, for anyone who doesn't follow boxing and anyone who's just watching this podcast now, because you'll get a lot of people who'll come and start following you just because you've got shit crack and they'll want to follow you anyway. But and same with like some people will say, lad who was interviewing Troy's a bit of a dick, innit? But they won't realise I'm actually mates with you. I've said that 3 times now, so everyone knows. Do you know what my daughter done to me yesterday? 6-year-old, right? Blew me up to fuck to one of her teachers. I name drop without meaning to, and I think it's just because I spiel. I just talk shit. I just talk shit sometimes. I just verbal vomit, and so I went to that Scream Factory. Did you go there? Have you been to that Scream Factory?
I've been.
But I took her around, to do a kids one. So I took her on the kids one where it's not as scary. They have everything hid away, and obviously
not even scary anyway. It's a load of
shit. Is it not scary? Nah. Because a few people say it's really scary, but you went with your boxing gloves on, didn't you?
It's about as scary as Josh Kelly's little faint thing there.
That's it. So now I'm going to do a bit of name dropping. I know the owner. So Troy said he's going to go in with a camera on him next year with me. We're going to go in next year, depending on how big Troy is. He might be world champion there. I might be on live at Apollo and that. You never know. And like we might be 2 big timers and we'll video it. We'll go around with a camera on us and see who jumps the most.
I won't. I definitely won't.
I don't think you would, because when Josh Kelly
when I went round and something jumped out, I swear to God, I'm not no bullshit here. I think I fainted a shot because I thought I didn't like jump as in it was just reactions.
Yeah.
I didn't jump scared. I just thought like.
But most of the times it was like when Josh Kelly done that thing.
Yeah. I was just walk through.
Because you didn't have no reaction there, did you? I was actually surprised when Josh Kelly done that.
Yeah.
Do you know that? Yeah, I thought like.
I was in the zone, like you said. I was looking through his soul, so I wasn't there to play no games. You know what I mean? He's done that, and I was.
What would he done if he slapped you? Honestly,
if he slapped us,
yeah. If he just went boom, slap.
Nah, he knew not to do that.
No, but if he just said boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, but and
then you were like,
he knew not to do it, so. Yeah.
And just like looked out. What would you do?
What would he have done if he done that and I slapped him?
Well, I thought that though, because I thought it's a bit of a dangerous one to play, doing scaring people. And I always, a coach used to tell me years ago, you should never really scare people, especially boxers, because if you like jump out on them, they might go up and hit you, and like straight away. Like I'm surprised you didn't. Like you might have like clipped him, you know what I mean? But I still want to know, Josh, what were you doing?
Save that for December 2nd.
What were you doing, Josh? Comment, Josh. But Josh might see this before it comes out. He might come on. He might come on
Get
and
him on.
get Josh on.
Give him a message, get him in.
Do you know what I mean? And say, Josh, what were you doing? Do you know what I mean? But yeah, so obviously that Scare Factory, my daughter, when I was going, I've been telling everyone, like, every time I talk to people, I just slip it in. I don't even mean to do it. Like, so for instance, me and you, I've always been mates, like, since you were like, what, 17-year-old, and we've always been good mates. And like, if someone says to me, oh, Troy Williamson, he's a good fighter, like, that's just me. I suppose that's just normal. I'll go, oh yeah, Troy's my mate, Troy. I don't. That's just me as a person. Yeah. My daughter's cottoned onto this. She's 6-year-old, so I was taking her to school yesterday, and the teacher was at the door, like, to greet them at the door. I was like, right, have a good day, gorgeous. See you later on. I went, and she was like, oh, did you have a nice, like, day for Halloween last night? I was like, oh yeah, I took it to Scare Factory. And Nina was like looking at her like, oh yeah, like that. And I was like, yeah. I said, she went, oh, I said, not the adult one. I said, I didn't take that one. I took the kids one. I said, my mate owns it. And Nina started laughing. And Nina said, oh, Dad, how come you keep telling everyone your mate owns Scream Factory? Do you know that? And I was absolutely gutted, you know, like, I can't believe she's just said that to me. You know, when you feel yourself, oh, you little bastard. That's what she said, Dad, how come you keep telling everyone you're like, your mate owns? I thought, fuck, I need to, like, readjust, you know, the way I go on with certain things. I can't help myself. The one thing I find hard about, obviously, I think, what's the hardest thing about boxing, would you say? Apart from just like, I was just about to say, took the words out of my mouth.
Fucking no, dieting.
Because you like your food, don't you?
Yeah, food's life.
Yeah. That's one thing I don't think, it's got to be worth it for me. It's got to be, because I sometimes think, like, you know, I'm going to start, you'll realise on the podcast, and I'll be a total liar if I don't say this stuff. I say it now on this, it means I'll have to do it. But I'm going to cut my weight now. I'm going to cut down a little bit more, so my face will be a bit slimmer the next few podcasts. Either that or I've just got on the crack. But yeah, dieting, it's got to be worth it. Like, boxing, I think you're fighting someone, so you've got an end goal. But that's why I think so many boxers get fat, don't they, after the career, because they think, fuck this, I don't need to do it no more. I mean, I put loads of weight on when I stopped even boxing as an amateur. I put loads on, and it was because I was eating all the time, but I was training all the time before.
I put quite a bit of weight on, but believe it or not, I don't go fat. I put a lot of muscle on, but like you say, you deprive yourself for what, 9 or 10 weeks.
How much do you walk around at when you're not fighting, weight wise?
Just over 2 stone.
So over like 2 stone heavier.
Yeah.
So and that's a lot of weight, isn't it, to lose? And do you lose the 2 stone in the 10 weeks?
Yeah, I'd lose 2 stone 9, 10 weeks. Yeah.
So your actual fight weight is it
11 stone?
11 stone on the dot.
Yeah, 11 stone.
And you walk around about 13 stone.
13 2 something.
That's massive. That, I mean, I know Chavez.
But I don't go out of shape at 13 stone.
Yeah, it's good though. I mean, there's loads of people do it different ways, isn't there? Like, obviously, Floyd Mayweather was always sort of hanging around the weight.
Yeah.
Well, I think
I couldn't walk around day to day life at 11 stone.
Yeah.
The most angriest little man.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, and then obviously, I think Chavez Jr. used to lose like 2 stone, like on the 2 stone like 3 days before, didn't he? Don't even know what he used to do.
Some people do it completely different, like you say.
Canelo Alvarez cuts weight, like towards the end, he cuts a load, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Do you put that weight back on quite a lot? Back on when you fight? On the night or after the 24 hours?
Yeah, obviously, cause like you say, you do it. Obviously, I do it professionally, I do it right. So once I rehydrate and get all the fluids back in.
Like water retention and all that. Yeah. Because dieting, for me, and there's nothing, I always have this mad theory that, like, someone says, oh yeah, get on a diet, and I mean, you've told me a few times, like, start drinking loads of water and that, which I did do, and it did help. I was drinking loads of water, just pissing like a horse all the time, and then like, I was eating well, and I was having chicken salad and all that, and then I just suddenly had this mad image of me walking across the road and getting hit by a bus and dying. And why I'm dying, I'm thinking, oh, fucking hell, my last meal was like a chicken salad. I wish it was like, I wish it was like a fucking big greasy parmo, you know, or something like that. Like, I mean, parmo's the food of the Northeast. What's your favourite food? I know that's such a childish thing to ask, but I want to know now.
What's your first meal after a fight?
Yeah, what's your first meal after a fight?
Pizza.
Pizza, what type of pizza? Just plain or?
Yeah, I just get a normal a plain margarita to be fair, or half and half margarita and veggie supreme, something like that.
Yeah, just do you not much of a meat fan on pizza?
Yeah, but it's like dog food though. It's not pot meat, is it? It's like
This is a big. You're right there. There's a bit. Some pizza shops don't do it right. Obviously some
you
good.
go to like a proper oven baked pizza place.
Yeah. I could talk about food all day long. I was going to say now I'm going to ask you a question that's going to divide your whole fan base. Do you like pineapple on pizza?
No.
You don't? I like
You?
it, me. Yeah, so it's going to divide my fan base as well. Yeah.
Fuck with that.
Yeah, I like. I've actually had pineapple on a parmo. I've had a Hawaiian parmo.
Pineapple does not belong on food.
It's nice. Do you know what? A bit
It's
of
nice. Pineapple is nice, but it doesn't belong on food.
bit of pineapple in your salad as well. Or apple in your salad. Have you tried apple in your salad?
No, I've tried pomegranate, but that's only because you get it in salads, certain salads.
Apple in your salad's nice. It's like I like sweet and salt. Me though, I'm the type of person who like. So what I do is I'll go into the fridge on the night, and like pull out a dairy milk bar, and then pull out a pack of cheese and onion crisps. Not from the fridge. I don't keep my crisps in the fridge. Like they're from the cupboard, and then I'll have a bite of my dairy milk chocolate.
What time of night?
I don't give a fuck, me. I pretend. I see. I have a different mentality to you. What time do you stop eating? On a night?
I could eat at 9. It doesn't really matter. Depends what I'm training.
So what I do is I go into the mentality of like, I feel like a lion. You know when a lion eats and then it goes to sleep. I can't go to sleep hungry, ever.
Nah.
I have to eat. And I always think if a burglar comes in, I'll have my energy. So if I have a Mars bar or something before bed, I'll have a bit of energy. If a burglar comes to chase me with my slippers, my Crocs. You're a Croc fan, aren't you?
Yeah, big Croc fan. Like
Big Croc. I'm a Croc fan. I'm a converted Croc fan, to be honest. I used to slag people rotten for wearing Crocs.
Nah, I'm not. I used to wear Crocs religiously when I was younger. I remember you used to get them for £8 or something.
Yeah.
Now they're like £40.
Yeah, I bought a pair the other week with £45.
Fucking hell, £40 for a pair of Crocs.
They've got fish on them. Have you seen them? My new Crocs.
Nah.
Show you.
I like the pineapple on pizza or footwear.
Nah,
Have you tried
Crocs? Are bang on, man.
Do you wear Crocs?
No, but
I'm gonna get you a pair.
I would definitely wear them.
Have you seen my new ones?
It's better than sliders.
I'll show you my new ones.
Everyone thought Crocs were shit, and now they've come back round and everyone thinks they're cool. I think that's the same with pineapple on pizza.
Oh yeah.
We've got fish on
I
them.
know.
They've got fish on them. It's mad, isn't it? Because I used to call people nonsense who wore Crocs, and now I'm wearing them.
Nah, bang on Crocs like.
I seen Michael Webster. Is he cruiserweight? Any Michael Webster? I seen a training video of him the other day, and he was wearing Crocs for training. That might be the next thing. Going into the ring with a pair of Crocs on. I did honestly. I seen if Webber will be watching this. I know Webber. He's sound, but he was wearing Crocs to training the other day, and I thought, you know what I mean? It's a bit off it. That I've never seen that before.
Yeah, I know.
And,
I don't think I could train the pair. Like,
I know. I thought that. I just say it was still shot.
I've walked my dogs in them, and I've walked miles in my Crocs like. But
Yeah.
Couldn't
run in them. They've got two modes. Having the speed mode and slip-on mode. Do you wear them in slip-on or speed?
Depends.
Because the reason, do you know Jack Bean? We had him on, didn't we? Jack Bean,
Oh, yeah,
TikToker. Huh?
The Beanhead.
The what head?
The Beanhead, nice.
Jack Beanhead, yeah.
Nah, I don't know Jack. I've just spoken to him on social media, but it's what you call people Beanheads, don't you?
Yeah, Beanhead. I used to call a lot at school Beanhead. He was actually his name all the way through school, Beanhead.
I've watched a few of his things. He's quite funny, isn't he?
Jack was really funny, wasn't he? He was really funny. He's just mad. He was talking about his ADHD and everything, and he was fighting Tom Zanetti, and he just said, I said to him, what happened there? Because he got on one of them fights, you know.
What did happen? Because the fight didn't happen, did it?
No, he was fighting on Dazn, and he told us the money he was offered, and that. I think he sold us the money, didn't he? Yeah. I can't remember what it was. It was quite a lot of money, but for someone who's obviously I've never boxed pro, but for someone who follows boxing and I box myself and I know what boxers have to go through, the money that he was getting offered, I was like, fucking hell. Good. I was like, yeah, for someone who's not boxed at all. But then in his defence, like being totally honest, he said, fuck that. He said his ass went. He said he's not a boxer, is he? He's a TikTok star. He said, I'm a children's entertainer. That's what he is. He's not
So is Jake Paul.
Yeah, but Jake's obviously got that little bit of fire in his belly, hasn't he? He's got that fire. And that's the proof. I mean, we were talking to Jack about that. He said it's not fair. He said when he started getting the grief and all that, and like instead of, yourself, Lennox Lewis talks about in his autobiography, he said the first time you get hit in the nose hard, like the very first time you get hit in that's the time.
That's when you know if you want to box.
You remember the first time you got hit in the nose really hard and made your eyes water? I'd sparred for years as well before I ever got like a painful punch. I'd had little body shots. Body shots are you always get a body shot first where you think, oh, that hurt.
Yeah.
But mine was against a guy called, he wasn't even he just boxed. Do you know one of them lads? You know them anyway, you've seen them loads. One of them lads who's never ever boxed before in a competition fight, but they've been in the gym since a kid. There's and they're quite good boxers still. They know how to move, they know how to throw their hands up. And even coach at Natural Progression, one of the lads there, Josh Fleming, he's had like loads of sparring and that, hasn't he? But he's only had one fight or something. And he's quite good at moving about and that. And but there's this lad in the gym called Steve Singh. I still know him now. And he's like an older bloke. I'll have been about 14. And what he used to do is he used to put
Steve Sing.
Yes, Sing. It should have been fucking Sting. And he used to put the big body bag on. You know, the big, like the pad bag on.
Yeah.
And he used to put the padded gloves on. And Kev used to make us... remember Kev, I introduced you years ago with your dad and that. Kev used to say it was, right, move your footwork, use your footwork. And Steve was about 20 stone. I'll have been about 10 stone. And he used to say, move about and let him like Steve used to say, try and hit him still. Try and hit him. And because he was 20 stone, I used to think, he's slow as. So I used to just dance about him, boom, 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 hit the bag. Right. I'd be hitting his body pad, and I used to get a bit cocky with my hands down and all that. And then he just threw this punch. I always remember it. And it went, boof. Like, I don't know if it snapped my nose there and then. And I was just like, my eyes were like filled up, and like the pain. And I was like that, and he was like, I remember putting my like head on his shoulder, and he was like, and he just like threw me off again. He was like, and I was like, and I remember Kev saying, hurt you that one, didn't it, son? He's like that, and I was moving around. I felt like crying, I was about 14-year-old. I was thinking, like, my eyes were killing me. And I remember like thinking that night, do I want to do this? And then I thought, nah, fuck that, I want to do this. Got an itchy back. What's on my back? Fuck. Don't be getting that on the hook. Where you go from the back? Yeah, so we're talking about diet. We'll go back to Josh. We'll probably edit Josh's bits together, can't we?
Yeah, I'll put some clips together.
Yeah. Josh Kelly, the big fight. We'll finish on this now. Josh Kelly, I mean, you've finally got this fight that everyone seems to be, especially in the Northeast, everyone's talking about it. It's getting loads of coverage. Everyone's like, he's going around saying, oh, you're not a proper, what was he saying? You're not a proper Borough fan or something. I don't know. I've seen that. And I've seen the clip that you put up the other day about him saying he doesn't care where it is. Josh is representing technically Sunderland. You're representing Teesside, Darlow Borough, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm representing the whole of the North East, and he's just representing Sunderland.
Oh yeah, well that's a good way to put it. There you go, the king of the North East. Yeah. Do you think there's? Did you know Josh is an amateur?
Yeah.
Did you spar with him?
Yeah, plenty of times.
How'd you get on with him? Honestly.
Yeah.
What would Josh say? Do you think if Josh was sat there now and I said to Josh Kelly, you sparred with Troy Williamson, what do you think he'd genuinely say? Do you think he'd...
I've got voice notes on my phone from after I boxed Cheeseman, from Josh Kelly, talking about how nobody would want to stand and trade with me. You're a beast, bro, you're a beast, this, that, whatever. So if he says anything different about the sparring or whatever, he's talking shite.
Yeah, yeah. Is his mic close enough there? Is his mic...
It has been, yeah, but pretty much.
Just so your mic, there. So, do you know your mic?
Yeah.
Just so it's close.
Mike. All tight.
Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson.
Do you ever want to change for your ring walk music? You're booking along King of the North.
King of the North, yeah. Have you?
King of the North, there you go. So Liam's having a little DJ session. Liam's a secret fan of you, you know.
Oh, yeah.
He's got a poster of you in his room. Have you been on a poster yet? Like a big poster of just yourself?
Nah, don't think. Unless somebody's fucking made one of me.
Someone might have a poster of you. But anyway, back to Josh, yeah. So when we're talking about Josh Kelly, like, does it make you tingle the fight? Does it make you think, yes, can't wait for that? How do you feel? Or is there a little bit of like, do you still have that little bit of nerves, or is it all when you're visualising a fight against someone? I'm not asking you to give your tactics away, but because obviously you're gonna have loads of different tactics, plan A, plan B, plan C, I suppose. But have you already panned out in your head how you think it's going to go? Or
Yeah,
are you not at that stage yet?
Yeah, definitely. Like you say, obviously we have a game plan, and all I need to do is execute it, and it's going to be.
Do you watch a lot of videos of him?
Nah, I don't. You know, somebody else asked me that earlier in the week. I don't.
Because fighting someone like Josh Kelly's very flashy, and he fights with his hands down. He throws a lot of trick shots. His footwork's very good because you can't mock. You can't not say he's accomplished amateur. I mean, he went to the Olympic Games.
He's a very good fighter. I'm not listening like I've done it in the past, and it's obviously I've learned from it. Not listening to other people's opinions. The only opinion I need to listen to is my coaches. So I'm listening to everyone's opinion, saying, "Oh, you're too strong for him. You punch too hard for him. You're gonna stop him later on." I'm not listening to. I'm not taking none of that in.
Yeah.
All I need to do is just make sure I'm 100% ready, which I will be, and then on the night, follow the game plan. That's all I need to do. I don't need to listen to anybody else's approaching it, apart from me coaches. That's it.
Yeah. Have you got a prediction of what you think might happen in the fight? Do you think he's going to come out and try and? Do you have any ideas, or are you just going to go over it?
If he does come out and have a go, we'll be prepared for that. If he gets and tries to box me on his back foot, we'll be prepared for that as well.
I mean, if it comes down to a fight night, right? You've walked into the ring, ready or not, here I come. What does Josh come into? Do you know?
I'm a Barbie girl.
I'm a Barbie girl. There you go, Josh. This is baiting you here, Josh. You need to comment on this. As soon as I see Josh Kelly with a little blue tick hook, I'm going to giggle like that. Come on, Josh. Comment.
Yeah.
But it might be too close to the fight by the time this comes out, and Josh might not want to even engage in until after, or he might comment on it after. Do you know what I mean? But if you both end up in the ring, right, we are both going to end up in the ring. And do you know when the ref brings you in to touch gloves with each other, and he suddenly just looks at you, and goes in for a kiss, what are you going to do? No, I'm going to say that. If he goes in, right, and he looks at you and he just goes, what are you going to do?
We're in the ring then. Obviously, I'll be allowed to punch him on.
No, before the ref says anything. So the ref's like, listen, I want you both to touch gloves. And he goes, do you think, like, you just say, well, are you going to ask him to his face, I need to know what was that about? Can you do that for me? Can you just please, as a mate, can you just say, my friend, he's a comedian. You don't even have to say he's a comedian. Say my friend James. My friend James keeps pestering me, Josh. Like he's actually texting me every day, just saying because he can't sleep. Just say on TV or something. Just say like, what was that about? Do you know what I mean?
Get Josh on for an episode, and we'll get you both on without us.
Yeah.
Just be Troy staring at him and Josh doing that the whole thing. You know, but like I said, no, the Josh not taking anything away from Josh at all, and I'm also not going to sit on the fence. Josh is my mate, you know what I mean. But I also know a lot of people who know Josh as well. A lot of people who trained with Josh, and he's got a very good pedigree, great amateur boxer and a good pro boxer. Very flashy, very Nazim Hamid type style boxing. Like he's just like unpredictable, like a bit like. His feet are all over, like he moves about very fast and that. How do you train for someone like that? Because usual sparring, there's not going to be lads who spar his style of fighting. Like he's like got an Ingle gym style fighting. He's like a Nazim, like a Lomachenko with his feet where he's all over the place and just sort of hitting with angles. A lot of boxers are just like a lot of boxers do have like certain styles. Like for instance, so for example, if you're boxing someone like, I'm giving an example. I'm trying to think of someone, Ricky Hatton. In his heyday, like they say, he's going to rough you up, he's going to fight with you, he's going to put his head on your chest. You've got to be ready for work rate, and obviously everyone's ready for work rate, but you've got to be ready for a fight. Josh Kelly, how do you spar? What type of sparring partners do you have to get for that? Because, and it's always made me think that because of people when they used to fight Prince Nazim, how would they prepare to fight Prince Nazim, or how are you?
Just been sparring with lads who have got really fast hands and fast reflexes. Been getting great sparring, to be fair, and I'm sparring really well. Camp's going great. I'm on point, my weight's on point. And like you said, it's just a case of it's fine line, and just a case of not overdoing it now. I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
And in 4 weeks' time, you're going to see the best of me.
Definitely. What do you reckon? What's your prediction on the fight? How do you think you're going to win by points, or do you think you're going to? Are you not even giving a prediction?
Whether it's points if he lasts out the full 12 rounds, or whether it's stoppage, he's going to see a Trojan win.
Yeah. Sounds great. I bet everyone's looking forward to it. So that's a big fight for Troy Williamson, Josh Kelly, December the 2nd. I'm trying to think. Anything else we can talk on? I think it's a good little interview, that. It was a good little bit of fun, wasn't it? You know what I mean? I'm just looking at the time now and thinking Troy's been here for 4 hours. This is a 4-hour clip that's been edited together. What are you going to have for food when you finish the fight?
For food? Finish the fight? Pizza. Chocolate.
How long will you eat crap for? Like literally?
Whole December.
Are you just that way? Would you? What's the longest you've ever binged after a fight?
Oh, fucking hell, 2-3 weeks.
Yeah, and then it's back to like. Yeah,
2-3 weeks, but like, I normally have like 2 full weeks off, not doing nothing. But I get bored. It's all I do. It's my lifestyle. To train. After I'll do 2 weeks not punching, but then after a week I'll start doing the odd run. I'm just not doing now for 2 weeks.
Yeah. And so pizza and a wank.
Nah, not straight after I box. Probably fucking go to bed.
Yeah.
Not bed. I can't even sleep. To be fair, fight. Then I'm
the adrenaline. Just go for a walk in your Crocs. I mean, what colour Crocs have you got?
I've got a few. I've got a pair navy blue. I've got a white pair. I've got a baby blue pair. I need a new pair.
I'll get you a pair.
I don't want none of them little daft fancy colours that you've got though.
No, I'll get you some good ones. I'll get you some little badges for that. I've offered you some now and offered.
I like them ganja ones. Get me them ganja ones.
Ganja? You don't even smoke weed.
I know, but I'm blacking it so it'll look good on us.
I've never ever smoked weed. Have you ever smoked weed? Ever?
Yeah, I've smoked weed, yeah.
Have you? I've never ever tried. I've never smoked weed. It's something like I don't want to promote smoking weed on a podcast, but
yeah, it's. I don't
Liam
know,
smokes weed all the time.
I don't know how people can smoke weed and go to work.
No,
it's mad.
I used to work with a plasterer, and he used to smoke green, and then just be like plastering the ceilings, stone to bits, all the way through. And I used.
But the ceilings look well.
Good plasterer, to be fair. He was the best one out of us all. It says a lot, that, doesn't it, about all plastering, and the one who was like the best was just like on the green all the time. You know what I mean? Just chilled out all the time. You never get him angry about work. Anytime you'd say something, he'd just go, ha. Just like, oh, you know, like every time, like no matter what you said to him.
I don't get like that. You know, people are like, oh, God.
One cheese and that.
Yeah. A lot of the you see on Joe Rogan's podcasts and that, a lot of the athletes and that talk about psychedelic drugs and all that, don't they?
Well, like the DMT and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, fucking people love it, don't they? I know one of my mates there. Fucking, he said to me before, try a DMT. I was like, no. He said, no, you haven't lived. I was like,
I've got
like, I can't take stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? He was like, oh, nah, you need to try it. So I was like, oh, what's the what like effects does it give you then? Like, how do you feel? He was like, well, as soon as you have it, he's like, go and lie on your bed, close your eyes, and you just feel like the soul leave your body. So I was like, I don't want to feel that. I mean, why would I want that type of feeling?
Do you know what you should have said to him? You know, your comeback should have been there.
Fool.
No, you should have said, I tell you what, spar with me. I'll hit you that hard, you'll feel your soul leave your body.
Your soul leaves, but like, why would you not go and smoke something then? But I know a lot of people who said that you see life in a different way.
Well, I had a guy tell me that he took this stuff, this tribal stuff.
Yeah, same sort of stuff, isn't
it? Yeah, it's like to that DMT or something.
Right.
And he said, and it brought back a lot of memories of like, it helped him out with his sex addiction and his like addiction, but it brought back a lot of trauma as well.
There's a really good documentary on Netflix about psychedelics.
Is there?
Talks about mushrooms, talks about MDMA, all these other ones, and like.
I don't think I could. I think my head would be battered. You know, like doing like something like mushrooms and that. I don't know. I think I've got maybe he's a bit of an addictive personality as well. I think I don't think I could. I think I can pick up a cigar and smoke it.
Yeah.
I like a cigar now and again.
I've tried a cigar like before I go to like a fancy dress thing. Fancy dress I was when as like a I don't know cowboy or whatever.
Yeah.
Smoking a daft cigar just for fucking.
Just to be the cowboy for the night.
Yeah, fucking.
James Toney used to smoke cigars after his fights,
I
didn't he?
don't see the point in it. Cause you smoke. You don't inhale it, do you? Just
Taste it, don't you?
it tastes like shite.
I know. And then your mouth tastes like
Yeah.
shite for days, but I got one to think I was cool before and all day. I got one of them thingy ones, what they're called, the Monte Cristo. It's like £25.
Yeah.
I bought it just to think I thought it must be a decent one if it's like £25. It's horrible. Sorry, Monte Cristo, if you the biggest brand in the world. Yeah. No, it was nice. But yeah, Troy Williamson, obviously 2nd of December. Wish you all the luck in the world. I'll be rooting for you. You're my mate. Josh, comment on this.
Stop name dropping.
I know. Name dropping. I know. I'm going to name drop. I just name drop everyone now.
Josh is getting it December 2nd. Make sure you tune in.
Tune in, yeah. You've
Live
heard it
on Channel 5.
Channel 5. You're going to be watching it with your popcorn, Liam, or are you going to it? I'm gigging in Blackpool. I'm devastated because I'm gigging in Blackpool. But what I will be doing is as soon as I finish my gig, because about the time that I finish, you'll be walking in the ring, I think. So I will be going straight up to the big screens. So I'll be watching you in Blackpool, Pleasure Beach. Hopefully having a pleasurable time watching you win, mate. So smash it, mate. Thanks very much for coming on. Troy Williamson, undefeated, British champion, European champion, the main man, the Trojan, Troy Williamson.